Hey guys, are you watching Westworld? Because if you're not, you are depriving yourself of one of the great television experiences of this year. Now, it has been a great success for HBO. It's something I've been enjoying watching tremendously. And what people may or may not know is that it's based on the 1973 sci-fi cult classic that was Michael Crichton's directorial debut. It starred Yul Brynner. It was not something that a lot of people got into, but I think is something that now people are sort of revisiting because of the success of the show. Well, Warner Brothers CEO Kevin Tsujihara was talking about how now, because of this tremendous success, networks like HBO, other networks are going to start looking to do a similar thing. So it got us thinking, what classic film could make a great TV show? I have this incredible panel, Dan Murrell, Andy Signore, and Jay Washington here with me to discuss. Gentlemen, I want to know your ideas. Dan, what do you think?
So 70s was a great time for sci-fi, and I think this is a movie that may be a little more mainstream than Westworld. Ironically, I've seen the Westworld movie only, and not the TV show.
What?
But, I know. But Logan's Run, which I think was a really strong sci-fi classic. It had a great premise of you're in a society that when you turn 30, you're done. Mm-hmm. That's it. And so I think a Logan's Run TV show, you update a lot of this. I mean, look at that. It's a cool concept, but that's a little dated.
Man, that's so
Put
awesome.
somebody,
You
I'm
keep
thinking,
the graphic, though, for the title sequence. The title is so
that's still
tremendous.
retro. Kind of like what Battlestar Galactica did, where they kept nods to the old kind of cheesier concepts. I think you put somebody in it like Aaron Paul, maybe. He's right around that age range. I think it could work. But this idea of being on the run from the government, and I don't know. Again, you don't have to be completely faithful to the movie. I think it's a general concept that's interesting. You could build a really cool TV show around.
So they've talked a lot about doing a movie with it. Like there was a point in time where Ryan Gosling was possibly going to do it. It might still happen, although now he's getting a little bit too old. Why is it better as a TV show than as a film?
Well, I think that you can as a movie. I think if you do Logan's Run as a movie again, you're gonna make the same movie again. And I think they did with Total Recall. They tried to add some stuff to the new RoboCop that didn't really work. So it wasn't as bad as most people say, but it wasn't a very good movie. I think that if you try to remake it as a movie, it's just going to be the same movie again. Whereas I think you're seeing some with TV shows, with Westworld.
Yeah.
I think if you remade Westworld as a movie, it'd be the same movie that we already have.
And it would come and go in theaters.
It would come and go and whatever. But I think that Logan's Run has a strong enough concept, and that's really when you're building a TV show, you need to build off of a strong premise and then play within that.
What network do you see this on? Is this a sci-fi show? Is this a show on NBC? Where does this live?
It's not an NBC show, I don't think. NBC seems to be going more toward comedy at the moment. It could maybe live on ABC. Maybe they did the V show that was fairly popular for a couple of seasons. I could see that potentially working on ABC. Not CBS. They're way too, it's procedurals and multicam comedies over on CBS.
They could solve it every week on Logan's Run.
They could actually, I think if you're going to choose a network, I think might work best on Fox. Because they did 24, they're able to do some action. They did Prison Break, they're able to do action.
They tried with Minority Report.
They tried with Minority Report. They're doing Lethal Weapon right now.
Yeah.
So I would probably, if I had to choose, I would pick Fox as maybe the best network for this to live on.
Interesting. What about you, Jay? What do you think?
So we said the 70s, and I had to make sure of the date of this. It was right almost at the beginning half of the last year of the 70s, 1979, Alien. Sigourney Weaver. Classic film.
Ooh.
Classic film, right? Spawned 3 great sequels, and we're now into the prequels now. Prometheus, Alien Covenant coming up. I would like to see this as a TV series. But we got to go more in depth instead of them just being in space. Let's go to the corporation, Weyland-Yutani, because this is the reason pretty much all of this is happening, because they're trying to find out about this. So let's say, for instance, you have where one of their scout ships brings back a dead xenomorph. And now the corporation is working on it because, again, their whole goal was to find a way to make this a biological weapon. And you have a Ripley-esque type character. And for that, I'm thinking the mother of dragons herself, Emilia Clarke. Let's put her in a different role.
Yeah, girl.
She works for the corporation, and she's trying to stop this because she realizes the implications behind it. Now, you can have this span where you realize it goes beyond the corporations. It has political implications because when you have things like that, when you're talking about biological weapons, they don't just exist in corporations. It's politics involved in it. You have other countries, other affairs. Now, this can span several, weeks or whatnot for a whole season. Also, you get to the fact of, do we see a xenomorph? Do we see an evolved version of it? Do we see some type of alien? I think it could work, and it would have to live on an FX because FX is doing a lot of science fiction type shows. Now they're about to come out with Legion, which is going to be a good thing for them, taking a jump into the Marvel universe and showing us something like that. And they've done different action things, again, this being Fox. So I believe this could live on that.
I think that sounds incredibly cool. I mean, there's so many interesting movies from the 70s. As we were sort of talking about this, I was doing some research. The thing that I'm actually shocked has not happened yet, both Omega Man came out in 1971, which is owned by Warner Brothers. That was the Charlton Heston film that, of course, then became I Am Legend, which I think could be a very interesting TV show, although it's a little close to The Last Man on Earth. But this is the one that I was like, I'm actually going to talk about a different one, but THX 1138, which was Lucas's directorial debut, also owned by Warner Brothers that wants to do this. And it's about like this dystopian future where police are androids and every experience is suppressed by drugs. I think that could be very cool. And Coppola could come back and produce it. But the show I really want to see, I want to see the Stepford Wives. Now, come on, man. Not that crappy movie with Nicole Kidman. You do a show about this perfect Connecticut, creep-tastic town where all the women are basically automatons and they're being controlled by their husbands in like a post-feminist world. Man, it would be awesome. And you bring in the queen of weird fake women, Blake Lively, and she's like the girl who kind of passes as a Stepford wife, but she's also investigating. She's like, something's up. And then Christina Hendricks is like the ultra babe bot who wants to break free, sort of like, well, I don't want any spoilers on Westworld, but sort of like some of the hosts on Westworld. Right. She's like becoming sentient in her own way, like she can't be suppressed, and she knows her husband made her in all these ways that maybe she shouldn't have been made, and you throw it on Lifetime because it would just rule, and you can say all kinds of things on Lifetime, like they
like
Lifetime
Unreal,
pushes.
which is a great show.
Unreal is a fantastic show. I think that a Stepford Wives on Lifetime would be boffo. Andy, what do you think? What do you want to see?
I went a little deeper into the 70s, a lesser-known gem called Hardcore by Paul Schrader. Most people know this. There's the poster, but most people know the movie from this clip. I pulled the clip.
Oh,
Do we have
the clip with George C. Scott. Yeah, I seen that clip.
This clip is the movie. Now, the reason this clip is actually really intense and depressing is because the whole movie is about him. He's this businessman, Jake Van Dorn. He's a conservative guy from the Midwest, and his daughter's missing, and he cannot find where his daughter is. So he learns, hires a PI. PI discovers that she's now doing porn. So he thinks it's against her will, and he's gone to go find her, and that scene is midway movie where he's presented the evidence of that. Is this your daughter? So he's watching.
Oh God!
Is he in a porn theater?
He's watching the porn footage of his daughter.
Are there other
that's
people
why he's
there?
like, turn it off, and it's just intense, crazy
Oh my
drama.
God, that's amazing.
So I just think there's something really cool. I mean, in a dark, but for a 10-part sort of HBO limited series, you get Woody Harrelson as the dad.
Yeah.
Put him in there. And you don't give out all the twists. I think you can add more. The whole movie's about him getting into the porn industry to track his daughter down. And so he gets into some S and you gotta think of all the fun characters. So it's a little bit True Detective. It's a little bit Boogie Nights. You get the sex appeal.
You get a little Taken. It's like Taken with Boogie Nights.
And then there's this whole he gets roped in. So it's a little Breaking Bad. He's now into the world of this.
Does he become one of the porn stars?
The daughter. And spoiler alert: the movie, the daughter is what he thinks the daughter's doing against her will. She's not. But so there's sort of a fun arc you could play with, and a lot of little dark, gritty sex stuff, which I think HBO loves.
I would watch the hell out of that
Was it Woody
show.
Harrelson that had a scene like that in True Detective, or was that Matthew McConaughey with the tape, watching the tape? Was it him or McConaughey?
It was Woody Harrelson.
That was it. He was so great in that scene.
Yeah.
He's watching, and you don't see it, and you see his reaction.
No.
Yeah. So
similar.
He's done that.
He did it.
He's done it
It's
before.
uncreative, but still, I watched the hell out of Woody Harrelson.
I like the Taken part of it. I don't know what you want. If it's my daughter, you cannot have.
But I don't think it goes there, because that's just, he's not, how does he know all that? But what about a guy who doesn't have the skills? Still wants to get his daughter back.
And it turns out that she was always doing it just because she had to get back at daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a show that I
Oh
want
my
to
God,
see.
those daddy issues to the fullest.
Oh, it also becomes a little footloosey all of a sudden.
And then I think he's now in this industry, so does he realize I've lost my daughter and I stay there a little bit and you extend the movie plot a little bit more? I think there's a lot to play. But again, I'm wrapping this all up, I don't like watching network TV anymore. It's too long. I don't want to watch 25 episodes a season. I feel like it's too much of a connection. Let's bring back Lethal Weapon and do 100 episodes. Come on. I like these limited runs that Netflix and HBO are doing because you can really tell tighter stories. I think all these could be a lot better with just, if you're going to go do it, the movie Westworld, great. You can expand it, but I'm glad they're not doing 30. Can you imagine 25 episodes
Then
a
it would be
season.
like Lost. It would
Yeah.
just be too much. But I will say, anybody who works at HBO, Showtime, or Stars, please call Andy Signore, because I want to watch Hardcore as a TV show. But we also want to know what movies you would like to see turned into shows, and also which of these you would watch on HBO. So tweet us at SJ News, and of course you can comment below and click here for more Screen Junkies news. Thanks for being with us.